So welcome to the cooking show today. What we're going to be talking about is some expedition food tips and ideas, and away we go. So when it comes to cooking equipment, we've got several different types. And as far as compactability goes, you really want the lightest possible outcome that's suitable for you. Now, as far as it goes, we've got four main contenders here today. We have the simple cook set, pan and cooking device separate. We have a little hobo stove style metal grill. We then have another cooking device called a BioLite, which runs off, instead of gas, it runs off twigs, pine cones, little stuff, but it's a bit larger, and it also comes with some capabilities which we'll talk about. And then you have, further down the system, you have your jet boil system, which is another cooking device that works off butane gas or different forms of gas, depending on which model you buy. So, with this kind of a setup that we have now, the instruction manual, you won't read that. You have everything separate. So your cooking stove, your pan set and your gas bottle are all separate. Now, there's pros and cons to having this kind of system. It is bulky, but for a multiple day expedition with multiple people involved, it's perfect. Someone takes the stove, someone takes the gas bowl, someone takes the cooking set. With that though, it does become a bit of a hassle, as then you have to rely on that person being able to keep hold of that bag and ensuring that bag is still there and is being looked after. It takes a couple of minutes to set up, if that. And once they're up and going, perfect, you're set for quite a while. With your pan set, you have many different options. Again, you want to look for something that's a bit durable. So this is a titanium base. So Sea Summit Expedition pot set. Comes with a frying pan, or a pan, or a plate, whatever you determine for that. Comes with a lid, also a strainer device in there, steamer lid. Comes with another smaller little lid. It comes with a kettle, with measuring equipment. That's normally good because when you're looking for your expedition stuff, you want to be able to try and find something that allows you to be able to cut to. So instead of having to carry a carrying jug, a water jug and stuff, put your water measurements there. I wouldn't rate it as the world's most accurate measurements, but it's there as a backup in case you had to remember there's something there. And you also have your nice big bottle there. We also have a cat in the film as well, but that's alright. I'm going to move her on. You're going to stay there all day? You're going to get down? Move your alarm. There we go, should probably call something later. But again, this also has, if I get close to the cameraman there, if you want to see that there, you have other measurements up and down the side. Now, this will boil water, depending on water size, in a couple of minutes. Easy to set up. Once your gas is on, you want to make sure it's nice and tight, and you want to make sure that the cable is extended. When starting up something like this, you want to ensure you're not in a confined space. So being in your tent, it is not recommended to be used there. It's recommended to be outside the tent, away from anything that's really flammable. That's why they give you this nice long hose, so you have that flexibility. With this model as well, you also have the adjustable gas level and riser of it. So to start it up, just give it a quick light. You can see coming straight through in there, and it's basically a mini jet engine going at its full speed as it can. Give you an example with the rubber coated sides. What you don't want is to put it straight onto the heat with nothing in it, because what all is going to happen is you're going to melt and destroy the actual cooking device. So you can always make sure you got water in it. where you're putting it on, nice and easy, jobs are good, you're set, your boiling water's on, which is always one of the first things you should do when you're at a camp, and you can adjust it. You can really hear it raw when it's up. Another cooking device, an alternative, if you want to go ultra lightweight, and it's dependent on your location you go in, you can buy one of these little fold up wooden cooking stands. It folds together nice and easy, just slots in like so. I say it's nice and easy, it can sometimes be annoying. Got it today to work, and this works off little twigs. So a little wood goes in there, and then you can have also the methylated spirits which sits in there as well. So your mess little pot, you can have that. So if you want ultra lightweight backpacking style, takes up literally next to no space, this good little stove, 15 quid, you can pick them up online for. I would recommend buying one a little bit bigger than this for the simple fact of the sturdiness of it. As you can see, the wet metal does tend to warp when it gets hot. But you have the little methylated spirits ring as well. So you have two forms of cooking on this, so you're not just limited to one set way. The only other downside to it is our titanium pan set does not work on open flame fires. So you couldn't sit this on there and cook. I wouldn't even attempt it, even if it will warp the metal, it will damage it. Your best bet is a simple frying pan, cheapest of the cheap. You don't want something mega expensive. I can't find one in all these pans. But cheap frying pan, sit on there. You would have to watch it and show it in fall off. I'd get a smaller size than this, but you can cook quite happily and comfortably in there. And this just works off small little twigs. Boil time, it's dependent on how good your fire is. So if you want something that's dependent on two forms, lightweight, but you have to take all your pans, pots, sets, all that. If you have a mess tin on the other end, that can just be slapped on right on the top. That's your plate sorted as well for it. So our next item is another wood burning device. It's called a BioLite. Now this company supplies cooking devices all around the world in third world countries, and what they're trying to do is to create clean energy through heat source. So what you do is this little orange part is a massive fan and turbo device, as you can see. Sits on there, it blows air in and it circulates, so all your little twigs and stuff that you're capturing during the day, it cooks and it burns them. As you can hear, a little bit noisy, but it has the added features. If you pull this little tab here, pull that down, you have your USB port, plug it in, phone can be charged whilst creating and cooking fire. So it's good for long distance expeditions, stuff like that. It's more of a car camping device though. As you can see, it's a bit bulky, bit heavy, it's not on the lighter side. Cooking wise, you have two options. You can bring a frying pan, stick it on the top and hope it stays on there. They have this triangle formation, this diamond formation on the top, but it doesn't really hold pans that well. So your second option is buy another BioLite device. That's how they get you. You can buy the BioLite grill, and this device, between everything, probably going to cost you, for the device alone, you're looking at about 130 quid for the device alone. And this bit just sits on top, just like that. Then you have your grill on the top bit. And you're able to put your twigs and stuff in there, just like that, and you can grill and cook anything on there. So as long as you don't need a grill, massive things, it's good for barbecues, camping with a car nearby. As you can see, it's not ideal as far as the ideal goes for stuff like that. If you want to come around this side, you'll be able to get a better shot maybe of it. Along with the cooking grill itself, that's an additional £50 at least for it. So you're probably looking for somewhere about the proximity of about £200 all in for everything included, as you can see, for just cooking. I think that's a bit overpriced, me personally. So our final device, and it's more my preferred choice, is the jet boil. Now the jet boil works off gas again, and you can get smaller gas cans that actually fit inside the jet boil. I opt for the bigger bottle personally, just because I know I can get more burn time out of it. And the jet boil comes in several little parts, all fits nicely inside the device itself. You have the actual jet, which just sits on top. Screw that on nice and tight. Comes with a nice little stand for the gas bottle for uneven ground when it decides to fit on said gas bottle, just like that. And it's good for, there we go, for those camping when you need it. Comes with a little cooking top for your pots and pans. So very similar to the Van Gogh setup so far of the jet boil. Like that, you can put a pan on there and it'll stay there nice and sturdy. The actual jet boiler itself is known for boiling water. So, the bottom of the actual device where you're going to cook your water in, there's lots of little fins that create and conduct heat when it sits on the top and locks in. Now the jet boil can boil water in a matter of minutes. As you can see, it sits on there quite nicely. Put the lid on the top. And like I said before about having devices that can do multiple options, inside the jet boil as well, you have a measuring scale in there as well. And that actually works really well with the food that we're going to be cooking today. So the food we have an option to start with is we're going to be talking about expedition food more to start with. So as when it comes to expedition food, you have several options. You have the option of going out there and trying to find your food on your way. Wouldn't recommend it if you don't know the area, you don't know too much about the shrubbery, stuff like that. Where you have another option of you can buy these ration pack, military style, dehydrated meals. They're expensive though. They're about £5 per meal. And they'll last for years. And they serve one person. So if you budgeted £5 per person per meal per day, you're over your budget as far as your portion lines go. So, as far as the cooking and dry dehydrated packed meals go, step one, you need water. You need lots of water. Lots of cooking equipment for it. You see one device. You have the jet boil. Same again, you can start it with lighter matches. We can use the first. Sparker. As you can see in there, it's cooking it quite loud in there. Also on the side of the jet boil there's an indicator which will go bright yellow, and we'll leave that just to the side for the time being. The way that we do this, you need a doctorate almost of cooking. Throw away that in the bin, because whatever you carry in, you've got to carry out with you. And then you'll probably find some sort of oxidation pack keeps the food dehydrated, especially the ones that you have to add water to. In that, straight away, cat and dogs don't eat it. You can see inside, it's rice, chicken. This is a chicken curry flavour, so I'll give it a good mix. We'll wait for the water to boil on that one. This one, what we're going to do is we're going to boil some water just after that. We're going to sit it in boiling water for about 7 to 8 minutes, and then we're going to open it, and it should be wonderful. So the second option as far as expedition food goes is you make the food yourself. And you can pre-make these packets at home. So if you have lasagna, spaghetti bolognese, chicken curry for instance, 2 days before, you can put it in a Ziploc bag and you have the exact same thing. You just put it in the boiling water. Now we should be coming up to the boil in just a second, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to turn the gas off before doing anything. All the way off and carefully remove it. It's good for warming your hands up. And they put an indication line on the outside of the packet, which I think is very generous of them to do so. Careful of the steam, it does burn, it is hot, it is boiling water. And you can just pour it in to the 8 line, which number 9 line. And each one of these is different, but they give you instructions. The number 9 line, I think, is around about there. Now, what we do, careful, do not touch the bottom of the cup. It's hot, don't burn yourself. As you can see, it's turned yellow as the indicator. So seal that up, and it actually can smell chicken curry already. Before we seal it up though, I know I mistakenly did it. Did it once before, don't do it again. Stir it in at the bottom, careful. I just use the fork. I would personally prefer to use a spoon, because once you puncture these bags, the water's going to pour straight out. Give it a good mix, good stir, and then you can smell it. Give it a sniff. It's starting to smell like chicken curry. So that's one meal done. Second one, sticky toffee pudding. Same exact way as before, but what we're going to do is we need a bit of a bigger pan. So our titanium cooking set, our very expensive cooking set, pour water into a pan. Got a good amount there. What you can do is set this up just out of the way next to the chicken curry. We're going to get this to boil. I've lost the top of my cooker, found it, sit it on top so it should lock in on top like that. You can see it's not coming off. It's got a little indicator, shows it's locked in there quite nicely. It should just slide in like so. Still sliding in now, just my luck. So it goes in, there we go, just like that, locks in. Same again, exact same way, gas on, once you find your cooker. Awesome. So you're very temperamental today, and I guess it's more realistic that way. So, like I said, hot water in, boiling water, you got a lid for it, put the lid on, help boil the water quicker. And remember to have a nice open space, we'll put that to one side. Just, you want it to boil, so nice simple instructions on the back of your packet. Like it said, same place, unopened, so in the power of boiling water, 28 minutes, drain away, 1 minute to cool. So, it's currently 10 packs on the clock behind us. Start cooking. So, like I said before, you're cooking meals 2-3 days before you actually go on the expedition, they're perfectly fine to use. Put them in a Ziploc bag, what's the difference? Nothing. Chefs all around the world do it. You know, you then know exactly what's going into your food, not having to mess around with different devices. Plastic bag, put it in the top. I've had Chinese on the top of places, top mountains, expeditions. That's how easy it is. 40p for a Ziploc bag, over £5, plus your meal you've already made. And if you're like me, you always make more food than you need to. Another alternative, if you're going to cook whilst out there, is you have your super noodle style food. So, as you can see with them, the super noodles, lots of packaging involved with them, and it can become quite a nightmare with them. So, what I like to do, I like to open them before I actually leave the house. Before I leave on the expedition, open them, put them in. 1, 2. There's my food portion for the day. I know exactly. I can write on it what it is in there. I can add the little sachets if I want to with it. And then you also have, we're making it for 2 people this meal, so we got that. You want a meal that's got high in energy and high in fat. You can pick up steaks, which everyone loves a good comfort steak. Good steak to comfort on. But like I said, all the packaging you carry in, you have to carry out with you. So what I do like to do, think how little that's taken, I can clearly see into it, I put my hand in my bag, pull it out, I know what it is I like to cut the packaging open again. Just like to open the packaging all the way, because as you can see it's a nightmare to do on a good day, and it is really being a nightmare today. The pull tab. You're in. Look at it, nice fat rind, that there. Good hearty protein. So you have your fat from the noodles, your heavily protein from there. Comes with a little bit of butter, this one. Don't have to get for the garlic butter. Splurge the extra 50p. And people often wonder how we keep food fresh. So this steak, you're going to be in your bag all day. You don't want it being left out in the sun. Take some veg. Frozen bag of veg. It's going to keep your bag nice and cool. Put it next to your steak in a Ziploc bag. We don't want to be carrying all this around with us. So again, open this. You then have, and you can count out your portion sizes in one go really. So as far as food goes, that should be enough veg for me and Chloe. That should last us. And what we can do, a little trick, squeeze the air out of it, sorted. Hey presto, we have our frozen veg, a nice little cold ice pack. If you're on an expedition for 2 days, put another one in. Frozen milk, I don't really like myself. It goes clumpy, it doesn't always defrost, it's not nice. I know people who do it, it's up to you at the end of the day. Steak again, put it in a bag. Everything goes in Ziploc bags, clearly marked, clearly labelled. You can shove this in there, just like that. And we can get both of them in normally. So both of these, I don't know why I put it again. That thick piece cut there. So you can put your butter cube in there for it. And you can put your seasonings, your salts, your peppers, all that in there now, and it'll mix around when we're cooking food, it's essential that we're constantly keeping ourselves clean. Getting sick on an expedition is the worst thing that can happen. And one of the number one causes of it, especially overnight cooking expeditions where you're going to be using a lot of food, is food poisoning. And it's normally from what you're touching on the day, grass, sometimes you've got equipment, your metal, depending on what you're doing, wash your hands. It takes literally 2 minutes to wash your hands. But all our packaging, we've gone from all of this packaging to clear labelled stuff. And once you're done with these bags, they're done. Fill them up all into one. How much space we have saved on just doing a simple little trick like that. Awesome. So there's different ways of cooking steak. You have your frying pan, best possible way for it. Now steak's a great meat to have different cuts, different flavours, different juices. I've lost the starter again for the cooker. Anyone see it? No, we've lost it. Found it. We have found it. Panic over. So, what we're going to do, cooker, hot, is turn, not our day today. Ah! Man, real life problems are happening right in front of us. Hold on one sec, we'll cut back to this. So, as part of your cooking equipment, good set of pliers is always crucial. I like to tend to carry them in my bag for instances like this. What simply happened is the gas is just locked on. Not the end of the world, not the biggest problem. Oh, this is really starting to drain us today. Cooker, nice and hot. Perfect, just like that. You have your frying pan. Now, Chloe, how do you like your steak cooking?
You know I like it cooking.
How do you like it?
Medium rare.
Medium rare. Right, we'll try that. So, as you can see, pan on. Okay, you have your garlic butter. Now, a little chef's trick for expedition cooking is we have these pre-made spice packets already with us. So these are taken from the super noodles, and all that they contain is salt, pepper. Now these are actually beef flavoured noodles, so it should come out tasting nice and beefy. I'll give it a nice rub. Now, like I said, you can do this 2-3 days in advance and let it marinate for all that time. On. Just like that. Look at that. Nice and dry. Rub on there. Frying pan's getting nice and hot. Now, the problem with these kind of foods is you need to keep an eye on everything, and something smells like it's burning.
Over the pan?
Is it the pan? It's not the pan. Maybe it is the pan. Who knows? Something smells burning though today. So what you're going to do, a little bit of oil in your frying pan. Still filming. Salt, pepper your steak, depending on how you like it. Like I said, 2-3 days before you actually leave. Now, feeling a bit festive. Some avocado oil in there, nice little glug in there. Beautiful. Close up. Bit too much oil. Now, your oil wise, you can have leftover oil from bacon. You can have lots of different things in there. I personally like to carry it in a small little vessel. So, those shampoo bottles you can buy that you go through the airport with, they're perfect and are ideal for this kind of stuff. Turn that up. Oh no, that's just gone out. Turn that up, it's nice and hot. Put your steak in. Fly it away from you, doesn't spit up that way. Our water's just boiled from that. So that goes in, so that's our dessert. In there nice and tasty. Perfect. Steak's cooking quite nicely now. Gonna hold off putting that garlic butter in on this one, just for the time being. Yeah, going a close to that steak. Listen to it sizzle. Good indication you've got a nice hot pan. So, when it comes to killing two birds with one stone, what we're going to do is we've already got a nice pan of boiling water. We're going to put the veg in, just like that. Going to cook all in the same pan, all like that. Lid back on. Boom. Super noodles take literally minutes to cook. Everyone's like, oh, you need to put them in for at least an hour, half an hour. Sometimes people cook super noodles for minutes. They cook in minutes. So jet oil again, boiling water. And the trick with super noodles is not to overfill with water. Just like the trick of any good steak is not to overcook it, undercook it, and not to move the pan. When you start moving this pan back and forth, what you're doing is you're lifting the steak and making it an uneven cook on it. So, light this bad boy back up. Straight away, pan in there, like so. Super noodles, I personally just like to crush them just a little bit, give them that crunch, that texture. We're going to put them in the water, like so. All the way in. Just like that. And as they cook, they'll break down nicely. There you go. I also like to put the sachets of the super noodles in there as well. I'm not a full monster. So yeah. Garlic butter in the pan, let that sizzle away. Now your tongs, you can use your pliers. You're not going to take a full set of tongs, but since now we're here today, we've got the tongs, we're just going to use them for the sake of it. So turn that over, nice and crispy, garlic butter on that side, rubbing it in, making sure nice and tender. Now you're not going to have a full-on kitchen with you, but hey, we're all living a bit of luxury. Salt, pepper. I personally like using Himalayan salt. Sold at any good supermarket. Heavy amount on it, perfect. See that crisp sear we've got on there? That's what we want to see throughout. Super noodles looking nice. They get in there. Awesome. All three meals are cooking now perfectly. We've got the steaks with the super noodles and the veg. We then have our other two packets. Now this has only just become ready now. If I didn't have to wait for that water boil, I probably would have had everything else ready with it. So as far as wait and cooking time, yes, this is the messier option. Yes, this is, you know, the harder, more effort option, but putting a bit of effort into something goes a long way. If morale's feeling down in the camp, turning up and going, you want some chicken curry, isn't going to be the best thing in the world for them. Big hearty steak, hit the nail on the head, smell the aromas in the pan now, and you can just tell we put a bit of thought and effort and attention into these things. And that's what people come for. That's why people like going on these things so much. Awesome. And thanks to the magic of editing and cutting and pasting, we're back. One steak's only actually crispy. We're halfway through this one. Meal is ready to eat. Noodles are ready. Sticky toffee pudding is ready. We're left with our veg. Now what is a good idea is yesterday, we're going to fry this veg a little bit in that butter. See? Bring it. When your moment comes, grab hold and own it. When your time comes, don't postpone it. When others down and out, you don't condone it. Truth be told, yourself is your toughest opponent. When your moment comes, grab hold and own it. Never let go, stand tall and hold tight. Overcoming obstacles is the objective in life. Never let go, stand tall and hold tight. Overcoming obstacles is the objective in life. Doubt is overnight, not today you shine bright. Cause inside your head, on goes the light. Doubt is overnight, not today you shine bright. Cause inside your head, on goes the light. Doubt is overnight, not today you shine bright. Cause inside your head, on goes the light. Ignite. Play the intuition, focus off in the night that glistens. You live this in the view, send it on wishing. Play the intuition, focus off in the night that glistens. You live this in the view, send it on wishing. Play the intuition, focus off in the night that glistens. You live this in the view, send it on wishing. When time comes, don't postpone it. When others down and out, you don't condone it. Truth be told, yourself is your toughest opponent. When your moment comes, grab hold and own it. Never let go, gentle and hold tight. Overcome obstacles is the objective in life. Of this veg, inside your head, on goes the light. Letting it marinate all those juices, crisping it up. Now remember, this is frozen veg. So, as far as freshness goes, it's not fresh, but it doesn't mean it can't be flavoured, son. It's like cooking all those juices just for a few minutes to get all crispy and tasty. That should do. That. Now, extract the fan off. Like I said, ventilation is key. We'll turn this off now. I'm going to turn it the right way. Boom. Hot pan, remember that. Orange. Now, the camp stove here will take a few minutes to cool down. What I like to do is I start packing it away as soon as I can. It's out of the way, it's not going to get kicked over. Gas, put it to one side. Stove, be careful, going to move it. The legs can be warm, sometimes they can be cold. Best bet is just carefully moving it out of the way of the eating area. Somewhere over there. And let's start looking at some of these dishes. So, we'll start with our chicken curry. Now, they recommend eating it out of the bag, which saves on washing up, saves on you carrying a bowl. But for all intents and purposes, we're going to open it. This is the first time for us seeing this. See it in the bag. And yeah. Looks a bit like sick if you ask me. Comes out like sick, smells like sick.
Jack, that's disgusting.
It does smell like sick though, not gonna lie. Prefer to have no attitude from the cameraman team. It's cooked. It's a lot of rice. I don't see much chicken in here. I presume the chicken's the little cubes. I'll give it a little taste. Bland. Needs salt, needs pepper. It's just goo basically. It's not nice. Yeah. Different flavours. Now I'll have a quick zoom in on that. What's the regame myself? Little palate. Yeah, you get the idea. We'll put that crap to one side. Sticky toffee pudding. Everyone loves sticky toffee pudding. Rob mixed that boy up. Look at that.
Don't really.
It is like a cube there. Again, it says eat it out of the bag. We're putting a bowl. I'm not washing up, so I don't care. Yeah, that's it. Now, we followed the cooking instructions. Yeah, we did follow them all the way. Squeeze it all out. It's the toffee bit. Yeah. The amount of time we were waiting for it. To give you an example, the best before on this, find it now, can't be till, when is it?
2022.
That's 2 years from today. That's hell of a thing. I can tell you why. What we're going to stick it in the microwave. I hope that improves it. That's in there. We'll plate up our steaks. This is the meal that I prefer to have. Now, you're not going to carry your glass plates with you. We have your metal ones. You can even use your pans, pots and pans. That's perfect to eat out of. You have your noodles. Beautifully cooked, red hot, smoking. Smell them? How do they smell? Nice. Give them a mix. In there. Give them a nice plate. Nice generous amount. Each plate. Now, put it in perspective, this took half the time to cook than what that rice noodle did. And I can tell you now, looking at them both, and the smell of them, this one's already tasting nicer. You have your vegetables. Same again, nice amount. Don't be skimpy, you're not going to waste it, you're not going to carry it away with you. So, nice amount of vegetables in there. Now, as far as cleanup goes on expeditions, the best trick I've learned is always put a pan of boiling water straight away. As soon as it finishes, stick the water on. Jobs are good. The dog's now decided to put her inside into it. Okay, visually pleasing steaks. Nice and cooked. Let them rest for a little bit. Okay, stick them on top. Don't off that one, that's how soft these are. Soft and tender. Now, try that, Chloe.
This.
Try that, yeah?
Do I have to?
How does it smell?
It's a bit like savoury rice.
Savoury rice. How much is a bag of savoury rice?
I don't know, 50p a pound.
50p. How much was that? £5?
Yeah, £5.
Okay. Both these meals together, these two, cost £8. So that's £4 per meal. Now, we didn't use all the veg. We didn't use all the noodles that we bought for it. So just to put it in perspective of it, this is more cheaper and more efficient. Now, Chloe, try that steak, cut into it for us. Give you a steak knife. Cutlery would help. Steak knife, fork. half the time, half the cost almost. Let's see what it tastes like.
Me. It's good.
Good? Tasty?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Taste the veg? Chloe doesn't like veg.
Never do.
How does that taste?
Yummy.
Yummy? Awesome. So, there you have it. Nicely cooked. Nice veg. I'm going to go sit down and eat this now. See you later.